Hello and welcome back to the Drama Coach podcast. Today I'm joined by Brian Maitland. He's an actor, a professional content creator and social media coach. Brian is also part of Actors and Social Media, which helps actors understand how to use social media in a more confident, professional and informed way. And I really wanted to have this conversation today because whether we like it or not, social media seems to be part of the acting landscape. For young performers, parents and actors starting out, it can feel exciting, confusing, overwhelming, and sometimes a little bit exposing. So today I'm going to be chatting to Brian about how actors can use social media well without losing themselves, damaging their confidence, or putting their safety and career at risk. We'll be talking about online presence, content creation, boundaries, safety, career preservation, and what performers should think about before they post. So, welcome, Brian. Thank you for coming on today. Hello.
How are you doing?
Really good. How are you?
I'm fabby. Absolutely fabby.
We love that.
I mean, for those that are, this is video, so everyone can see my wet hair. I had a shower 10 minutes ago. It's not grease.
Good. Living on the fly. I like that. Yeah, I ended up cramming in far too much this morning. I like to roll that way. So tell us a bit about yourself then as an actor, content creator and social media coach.
So I'm an actor. I went to RCS I graduated in 2021, moved down to London, where I still attempting, musical theatre, screen. I've done a few things here and there. I had a small bit role in Beetlejuice 2, great experience. And throughout all of that, even when I was training at RCS, I started TikTok. So TikTok was a thing that I did for fun during lockdown because there was nothing else to do. My degree got deferred for 8 months, so I needed a creative output. And that's when TikTok came into my life. It was a bit of fun. And then suddenly people started offering me money to make TikToks for them. And people started following me, and people were asking me to make birthday shout-out videos, and it just grew arms and legs, and it became the beast that it became. I didn't want any of this. I genuinely didn't want this life, but it was the life I was handed. Not that I would trade it for anything, but it's here to stay with me now.
Awesome. And now you're helping others with it as well. And for a lot of actors, I think they're realising that social media can really matter, but they don't always know perhaps how much it matters or how to use it well. How would you say how much social media matters for actors in particular? Do followers and numbers matter, and how can it impact an actor?
Okay.
Big questions.
You're asking for I think all of the content of my foundation course.
Okay, we don't have to give away any secrets. You can give us hints and tips. You can give us little bits.
I mean, very loaded question. I would say that one. Let's start from why it matters. Let's start from why it matters. Over the last 25-ish years, maybe we'll be closer to 20 years, we've noticed a shift in the power of reality TV stars to social media. You would see in the local regional panto wherever you are in the world, in the UK, if you're there, you'll see these reality TV stars taking pantomime roles. And if you were on Come Dine With Me or Big Brother, the roles would be going to people like that. But now producers have started noticing that social media is sort of taking that place. I mean, there is still a place for reality TV stars. Absolutely there is. I mean, I would still argue that a lot of these people still have more weight because a lot of them do have social medias now. But a lot of producers are taking notice of social media professionals, and that is a way for producers to gain security. It's to gain some level of prestige, and it is guaranteed audience, guaranteed bums on seats. That's what it is at the end of the day. But what I also say is, because you asked me a question about, do numbers matter? Numbers in themselves don't matter. But what I always tell people, and there's a lot of critics out there that criticize people that cast social media influencers in productions, saying that they're only cast because of numbers. But what I want to say, I think, highlights why not just numbers, but what it represents, why it's important. Someone that follows you is a real person. They're a real person with their own ambitions, their own dreams, their own tastes, their own dislikes, their own opinions. They are real people. One follower is a real person with all of those things. If 100 people follow you, is 100 ambition, dreams, likes, various tastes that have chosen to invest their time in you. If 1 million people, if 1 million followers have decided to invest in you, that is not 1 million people doing that out of a whim. That's 1 million people that have chosen you. And what producers see, what casting directors see, that becomes an industrial demand for that person to appear in certain productions, in certain projects. Hannah Lowther, we always talk about Hannah Lowther. Yeah, she's great. Hannah Lowther, I don't know how many followers she has at the moment, but I certainly remember a lot of people that would criticize Hannah Lowther for, not necessarily Hannah Lowther, but certainly producers that, they're just casting Hannah Lowther because she has this many followers. Now, I'll admit, Hannah Lowther is not my type of content. I don't vibe with musical theatre content. Ironically, I do musical theatre, but I'm not a musical theatre type person.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not an MT kid. I think that's best to describe.
But that's what's great, isn't it? There's something for everyone.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Great to have different tastes.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, however many million people follow Hannah, that was 1 million, 2 million, or however many people have voted for Hannah, essentially, to be in these productions. And that is potentially up to however many million people will go to see that production. It's not we're just hiring this person because they have a lot of followers. We're hiring this person because so many people have chosen to invest their time, their love, and their money into this certain creator. Now, I don't have near the success that Hannah has, but what I get now is I get people requesting me in certain venues in Scotland saying, can you play the Dunfermline Alhambra? Can you do the Dundee Rep? Can you do the Glasgow Hydro, which has 12,000 seats? And I'm like, I will not be able to sell it anywhere near close to 12,000 seats, but maybe I might be able to sell it at a pub in the south side of Kirkcaldy or something like that. So if there's any pubs in the south side of Kirkcaldy, hit me up. But what I'm saying is, people forget that numbers are not just a number; they are real people. They're almost always a real person behind it. Unless someone has purchased bots, and then you'll get banned for that. But a following is a vote of confidence.
I think that's really lovely what you've said as well. And just touching on, there's different things that different people like. And I've used TikTok a little bit more, and that's how some people have found me and I've found them. And no, I don't have a very big following. I'm talking about hundreds of people. But you're right. Every one of those, and lots of these people, we've communicated together, learnt something from each other, shared something. And there's that sort of, for me, quite a nice sense of community. And I think there are, and I've heard lots of criticisms. And I think I would be tempted to say that if I saw that, maybe they've just hired them because they have a big following. And I think I saw on your website, actually, you were saying about it's not necessarily going to influence, I don't know, I think you were using Les Mis and Phantom as examples. They're already out there with a huge cult following over all of the years. There are always people who are going to turn up to those. But perhaps if there is, I don't know, a fringe musical or play that maybe no one would have heard about, if you put yourself with the right person with the right following, then that could absolutely build your production, I'm guessing.
For context, for those that haven't seen the website yet, which is just about everyone, because I think the website only had like 200 visits so far. I was at a workshop it was a Cameron Macintosh workshop, and I got called up and to performance. The person doing it, I won't say who did it, they were looking at my Spotlight printout, and they were looking at the About Me, and they're like, you have 60,000 followers. At that time I did. You have 60,000 followers. And everyone was like, huh? And then all the questions at the end were about social media. Because I think everyone heard the dude call it out with some degree of wow. And everyone started, I think people were starting to get insecure about it. They're like, do you need a social media following? Like, is that important? And then the guy was like, for companies like Cameron Macintosh, it's not important. But for other smaller things, for things like your 1 week run at the Edinburgh Fringe, or maybe even something at Art Depot, it can help, but it will help you before it hinders you, which we'll talk about later.
Okay. Great. I like that. Definitely want to get into what can hinder, because I know a lot of parents worry about that, and young people, and myself as well. So this will be interesting for me as well. So I think we've answered my next sort of handful of questions within that, which is great. Can we talk then about safety and career preservation? We hear this, no more of this newspaper is tomorrow's chip paper. Now it's what you post online stays online. Think about it, be careful. Tell us what you're willing to share about this.
Well, with online safety, with safety and preserving your career, there are so many mistakes that I see a lot of people doing, a lot of young people doing, but also a lot of older people too. If you have a lot of drama school kids following you, watching what you do, what I would say to them is watch the vlogs that you post. Okay, watch them back. So many drama school kids are unintentionally revealing everything about themselves, and a lot of them under 20, just over 20, early 20s. I see so many people doing their makeup in the morning, having their breakfast, and then showing themselves walking out the door, what street they're on, what railway station they're going to, what drama school they're going to, and showing what time they're leaving drama school,
their daily routine,
and getting the train back home. I certainly remember once. This wasn't a drama school student, actually, but it was. She was a Durham University student, and she posted. It was a beautiful video, of her morning routine going to Durham University. I should preface: I don't watch students getting ready with me routines. It's not something I do. It was something that appeared on my For You page.
Sure. No. Well, I'm with you. I know your heart's in the right place for all of this. We're okay.
But. I love Durham as a city, so yeah, anyway. But she posted this video of her leaving the house, opening her front door, showing I'm pretty sure it was the castle of Durham, and then walking up the street and into the university. I left a comment immediately saying, "Girl, take this down right now because you've just shown everyone where you live." And that video, I think it had something like 2,000 likes, 3,000 likes. That was a lot of people that now knew where that person lived. She did take it down, I think, within 30 minutes of me posting that comment. People need to be very, very, very careful. On top of that, this isn't to do with online. So many drama school students and actually university students on that. They have, certainly on the London Tube, on the Underground, they'll have their lanyard with their student card and their face and name showing. Just be careful. Just be very careful. I know it's tempting to show how you managed to get into this great, lovely school that's probably very supportive and, the life that you want to live, and showing off to others that didn't get to live that life. It's very tempting to do that, but be careful. Very careful. On another note as well, once you've left drama school, it's a very particular type of content that I despise. Not on a taste level, but actually maybe on a taste level, but on a career damaging level. It's the notorious get ready, come with me to my audition videos. They're just about the worst thing that a professional actor can post. Just about the worst thing a professional actor can post.
Tell us why.
And I think I'm probably the only person that talks about it. I'm just about the only person that talks about it. And if any of your listeners or viewers are watching this, please feel free to disagree with this. Please stitch this as well. It'd be great for engagement.
That'd be exciting, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. The reason why it's bad is, first off, you're going to dox yourself. You might dox yourself on where you live. Don't reveal where you live. But two, auditions are exceptionally vulnerable places. Especially if you're going to an open call. Especially, and also if it's an invite only thing. The last thing you want to be doing is, first off, ruining your NDA, but two, exposing the fellow auditionees. People aren't there to get filmed. They're not there to appear in the background of your content. And another thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be showing the inside of the audition room. I have seen not so many, but I've seen quite a few content creators do this. Filming the inside of Pineapple, showing everyone else in the background. Yes, some people will join in the background and go, "Hey, how's it going?" But then there's people right at the back of the room that haven't consented to be in that video. And and the other people that don't consent to be in the video are the producers, or the audition panel. The last thing they want is for their entire process to get put on blast online. And the thing I would ask people that are making Come With Me to My Audition videos, are you there to make content, or are you there to book a job? If you are there to make content, your mind is not on the audition. Your mind is about what is on your screen, and does this look good? Do I sound good? Yeah. You will get more fame, or more influence, or more views, more engagement if you book that job and make content about that job. Making content about possibly getting the job is not interesting. Which is the other thing I want to say. You trying to be an actor, you posting content about aspiring for this job, going for that job, is in many regards that is interesting. But going to these auditions is part of the job. Okay, it's just part of the job. Yeah, and yes, there's beauty in the mundane, but it is still part of the job that you do. Yeah, and you shouldn't be posting things that could potentially hinder you, but it's also not that exciting anyway, because you can't even post the audition. You can't even show the song that you sang or the monologue that you did, because funnily enough, that's the exciting part of the work. But you can't even show that part of the work. So there's no point. What I would say to your viewers, to your listeners, is focus on the audition, book the job, because the content you'll make on the other side of the audition, that's infinitely more interesting.
Whether you get in or not, if you don't get in, presumably you could go home and vlog about it or chat about it, or sort of reflect on it and give tips from it. Is it all right to take sort of photos of maybe the venue outside if it was an exciting venue and cut bits together? Because I get that a lot of effort is there, and perhaps they've done their hair and makeup for their audition, and I can see why it'll be tempting for young performers too. And I absolutely get your point as to why they shouldn't be. I wonder if there's a nice in-between that they could take if they really feel that they need to use that particular day.
The only thing that I do regarding my auditions is I just take a picture outside the venue, say audition day, post it on my Instagram. That's all I do. Regarding what they can do, if they are so excited, if they are so excited that they cannot shut up about it, is tell your friends, take a picture outside, leave it.
Yeah, great.
As an actor, there's way more interesting content that you can make. If you're going down the route of acting content, there is infinitely a million more options that you can do for content. Come with me to my audition days videos. Focus on the audition. Use your time wisely.
I think that's really smart advice. Thank you.
No worries.
Do you have it? So we also have quite a lot of parents of young performers, some of them younger than this, but series 2 that we're recording now, I really do want to focus on those drama school students and beyond, mainly because I've seen so much heartbreak on TikTok and Instagram, which is what sort of inspired me to do the series 2. But we still are hoping that the parents will stick with us as well. We don't want to drop them just because we're addressing the older students. There are still so many parents that want to support their student, their kids through university, drama school, and of course beyond. My mum still checks in on what I'm doing sometimes, although I don't think she'd listen to a podcast about it. So we have a lot of parents of young performers. What kind of boundaries? I also see a lot of parent-run accounts and that sort of thing. What sort of boundaries should we be setting around content for young performers? Should young actors have public? Oh, it's going to come down to age and all sorts, but what are your thoughts on all of this? Should they be having public profiles? What should be happening with them?
I have a very, very strong view, very, very strong view on children on social media. When I say children, I'm talking about under 13, under 14.
Yes, exactly. As the rule states, they shouldn't be on it.
Yeah. But my personal view, whether parents want to agree with me or not, is children's faces on social media should not be on there at all. The one thing I hate more than anything else in the world is seeing... Well, it's informed by the YouTube parents of the last 15 years, where children are essentially exploited for content. And we've seen it a lot in America. I am not saying parents of child actors that run social media accounts are doing this. I'm absolutely not saying that. But what I am saying is that the consequences can be similar. There are a lot of bad players out there, really nasty influences and bad people out there. And in this world of generative AI, posting your child now can be very, very harmful. You need to be aware, for any parents that are thinking about running social media accounts for their children, that is within your right to do so. But once your children's images are out there, you no longer have control over where they end up. My advice would always be don't do it, but for the safety of your child. If you want your child's career to be boosted by social media, that's entirely up to you. But the question is your child up for it, and will they thank you or hate you for it in 10 years' time?
Yeah, I think that's the difficulty, isn't it? So with the really young ones, I absolutely see what you're saying. Then I've got a parent-run one for my youngest daughter, Lacey, so she is 11 now, and she's asked for it, and I don't let her go on it herself. But we also chatted to her agent about it as well, because, yeah, it is it's difficult. Like you say, if AI is going to take that and run with it, but she will talk to me and say, I want this photo. So I was like, okay, fine. Whereas my eldest won't even let me tag her on my own Instagram in a family photo, but more because she thinks her friends will see it.
It's not cool. Yeah, it's not cool.
No, it's not cool. And she's got stuff she's done with me from the drama coach from lockdown, where they would help me demonstrate drama games, etc. All done with a really good heart. But it's interesting and scary. And she doesn't want her friends to now see her when she was 10, doing a drama game. So I absolutely hear what you're saying. I think it's very interesting, and it does make me think and reflect about, what is the purpose and why is it there, and does it need to be there?
What I would say is this actually leads on to another topic that I do want to talk about.
Okay, great.
It's target audience. Who's it for?
Yeah.
Are you, and I'm not asking you personally, but parents that make these social media accounts, what sort of audience are you actually planning this for? Social media content is for a person. It is always fundamentally for someone. Okay, my content is primarily aimed at young males aged between 13 and 25. But when you're posting content of your child acting, their show reels, their headshots and stuff, are these for casting directors? Actually, I mean, as a parent, who are they for? Who would you be making it for?
Such a good question, because for me, when we started it up, I said to Lacey, why do you want it? And what is it for? And we said it's to connect with other young actors like yourself and to learn from them. So I said, stop liking cats and kittens and sisters on the algorithm when I let you sit with me and on the phone, because that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for acting tips, connections, etc. But I like what you've just mentioned about casting directors. However, casting directors really, I would imagine, are going to be on Spotlight and other casting platforms. But I can imagine there might be parents thinking it's for my child to be discovered or found, whereas ours was very much, it's to connect with like-minded parents, and because again, all parent-managed account, parents, young actors, and actors a little bit older than herself, and what they've done so far and how they've done it. So that was our aim, but whether that's actually happening, I'm not entirely sure.
There's absolutely merit in what you say. That is real possibility, 100%. The question, though, is, with especially on Facebook, there is, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of bad players out there, and there's a lot of people that would seek harm to come to children. Bear in mind, Facebook is unvetted, social media is unvetted, and a lot of the time people aren't who they say they are.
Mm-hmm.
You could, have you met these parents before?
Yeah, some of them, yes. But
maybe you have.
Yeah.
But I would put a lot of money on there at least being one person that has infiltrated these groups, pretending to be a parent of a young child, saying, "Oh yeah, this is my child called Beth. She's a 6-year-old actor. She's blonde. She's from Uganda. I don't know. And she is. She wants to get into commercials. Does anyone have any tips? And they get let into this group, and then all these parents of these accounts with pictures to the children will start responding, saying, "Oh yeah, they need to get an agent. Oh, by the way, add us. We're more than happy to give you tips. Great, thanks. I'll be sure to send you an email later." There's so many opportunities to compromise your child, but there's very little opportunity in actually getting discovered, like you hope. Because here's the other big thing: is there's a lot of these parent-run accounts. We're not in the age of Justin Bieber's social media anymore, where you just post one video on social media and you get discovered and get picked up by Usher. We're now oversaturated.
Mm-hmm.
We're now oversaturated. But now what that means is there's a lot of choice for bad players now. The people that you want to discover you are on Spotlight. They're on Backstage. They're on Mandy. They are on legitimate websites. Okay. You as a parent now need to weigh up, is the risk now worth the reward? And certainly if I were a parent, I wouldn't be doing it. And I now see a lot of non-actors with non-acting children posting their child online with emojis censoring their faces. And that's, if I ever became a parent, that's exactly how I'd approach it. They would have emojis all over their face. And if they wanted to be an actor, that would be absolutely open to them. But we would be doing it through legitimate means.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for that. Given me a lot to think about, and hopefully the audience a lot to think about as well. And again, hopefully they've got people that they can reach out to and discuss that with. It's so good to have, we don't want to scaremonger, of course we don't, but it's so good to have a different opinion, and an opinion that says, be careful. Obviously you know about this, you've got, you've helped a lot of clients. So I think this is really valid and really worth hearing. Let's talk about content as an actor. So if you are old enough to be posting on social media, and I still think even for those teens, those that, I find it being a problem for my daughter, social media, or more consuming it and the time that takes, and that sort of sucks away. But that's a time for another topic. So if you are old enough to be posting on social media and you are happy to do it and you're hoping it's going to help your acting career, what are the kind of things you should be doing? You've already mentioned NDAs, and I've said this before, don't go posting your auditions or your self-tapes because you're breaching things, and this is silly. If you want to do your bloopers out your self-tapes and make some content out of that, I think that's fine. But I think it's really difficult for actors to know what they should be posting. And I had Audrey on in season 1, and she talked a lot about social media and sort of being yourself on there. What are your opinions as to what these actors should be sharing?
Yeah, I agree with Audrey. Be yourself. Absolutely be yourself. But to add on, what I would say is everyone is different. Okay. You run an account based on the industry, based on the performing arts industry. I mean, we ended up connecting because I'm a social media manager for an online acting school. So I do post that sort of similar content myself on that channel. But what would work for you wouldn't work for me on a personal level. And what would work for me wouldn't work for you. Okay.
That's really interesting. Sorry to interrupt you, Brian, but I was like, so, you told me who you were and why we were chatting. And I thought, I'll have a little look on his TikTok. Perhaps I should follow it. And I was like, yeah, it's great, but it's not for me. I'm not going to follow it because that's not I didn't want to tell the algorithm that. I was like, cool. Yeah, good for you. But you're so right. The things that we're going to post about are going to be completely different.
Everyone is different. Everyone is different. Again, going back to Hannah, because she's a great success story. There are so many people trying to emulate what Hannah Lowther did. Bearing in mind, she did what she did. What year is it? 6 years ago. I keep thinking it's still 25. She did what she did 6 years ago, and what she did was the right environment and the right time for it. But so many people are trying to emulate what she did, but they don't necessarily have the vibe that worked for her, and they don't have the sort of the natural connection to that sort of content. If I tried doing what Hannah did, even back then, I would have flopped miserably, mostly because I'm not a great dancer, but also, but that's just not my style. And the target audience that Hannah appeals to is not the target audience I would appeal to. Okay, it's just not my thing. I'm a bass baritone male, and she's a fantastic dancing soprano, the triple threat soprano, which that appeals to a lot of MT kids. What I would say is know the sorts of people that you appeal to, and know the sort of content that would appeal to them. Ultimately, as I said on the last topic, content has to be for someone. It's got to be for a specific type of person. I can't tell you what that is without speaking to whoever is listening, which is a great advert. A great segue to come book with me.
We will link it all in the show notes. Don't you worry.
But yeah, there's a lot of warnings I have as well for social media, but I could go on for ages and ages and ages. But me talking about who's it for leads nicely into follow for follow. Okay, Lisa, are you guilty of follow for follow?
I don't think I am, and I think I feel bad about it. I think I should follow them because they follow me, but no. I don't think I am, but I feel guilty about not doing that.
So,
if we resonate, then yeah. But I gave you that example. I didn't follow you on TikTok, and I felt bad about it. But I had a good look, and I thought, good for you, but no.
And I'm glad you didn't. You didn't. Follow for follow is just about the biggest killer of every social media account. Doesn't matter if you're on Instagram, TikTok, etc., etc. Follow someone because you like their content, not because you're their friend. Okay. Especially if you're trying to grow your account. Yeah. I have seen so many. I manage several social media accounts, and one of them I opened for the first time when I first logged in, and they were followed to so many things that were not related to that industry. They were following, plumbers. There was a theme park in there. There's actors as well, actually. There was a whole bunch of things that were not related to that industry. And I say, stay within your community of content creators. That's why I followed you with the AC.
Yeah, it made sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Censored.
Okay.
That's why I followed you with that other account.
Yes.
Because that was related to acting content. But I didn't follow you with my main account because you're not within my sphere
and
of
ditto.
Content.
I'm glad that's mutual now. I'm actually glad I did that. But I did doubt myself and think, oh, that seems mean. But
I'm
it didn't
straight up
seem
honest.
Right. Cool.
I am straight up honest. Whenever I get a friend of mine, usually an actor friend of mine, logging onto TikTok, and they say, "Oh, hey Brian, I've just logged onto TikTok. Do you mind following me back?" And I'll be very, very honest with them. I'll say, "I'm sorry, but no." And the reason I'm saying no is because I don't want to hurt your account. Not because I hate you. Sometimes I do. Not because I hate you, but because if you have 5 followers and one of them is myself, and I don't watch acting content. But if I see acting content that doesn't resonate with me, I'm not watching 2 minutes of your Shakespeare reel. I can't be arsed.
However, come and find me because I would love to sit and watch 2 minutes of your Shakespeare reel.
Exactly.
I'll definitely follow that.
Send it to Lisa. Don't send it to me. But the way the algorithm works is if I scroll past your video. If I scroll onto your video and it's a 2-minute long Shakespeare monologue, and yes, I can like it, but I will scroll straight past. I'll be deadly honest. I'm not watching that. I don't care. I just don't care. That will hurt. That will hurt you.
Yeah.
It will hurt your metrics. I am, because if I'm like one of 5 followers that you have, that is essentially 20% of your following has scrolled right past your content. Okay,
I love what you're saying. It's harmed rather than helped.
Yeah, it harms more than it helps. Okay.
So you're being kind by saying no. Yeah.
And if you do follow for follow, okay, you can follow up to 10,000 accounts on TikTok. If you have 10,000 people following you back, okay, that's 10,000 people that don't care about you. Okay, that is not 10,000 people that have chosen to invest. Going back to what I've said earlier.
Yeah, they're not going to help you.
Yeah, these are all individual people with their own likes, dislikes, etc., disinterests. And that is 10,000 people you've essentially bribed to follow your account. And that is also 10,000 people that don't actually care about your content. Maybe 10, 20, 30 of them do. But these are all 10,000 people. These are 10,000 people that have their own content, their own types of content. They're doing beauty. They're doing food content. They're doing tech content. They're doing gaming content. But you are there doing your acting content. These people don't care. I'm an actor and I don't care about other actors' content.
Yeah.
What I like about your content, though, Lisa, is that you do post helpful acting content, and that's why
why I'm there. So as the drama coach, I don't use it as myself anymore because there's too much to run. I do on Instagram, but and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's kind of what I've done all my life prior to being an actor, always a drama teacher. And weirdly, I think I've said this on the podcast before, I am more comfortable as the drama coach than I am as myself, but many actors experience
And there are
that,
people, and there are actors like myself that find your content interesting. The reason I haven't followed with my account is because my account is strictly a creator's account, and I need my account to be within that sphere.
Absolutely.
But that's why I follow you on the other account, because your account, because your content is useful. Your content is useful to me, and that brings me on to my next point: is your content useful? Is it useful to you? Is it useful to audience, or are you just putting it out there for the sake of putting it out there?
Oh, that's a good one. Because I've got it whirring round in my head going, well, for me personally, I really like making my content because it makes me a better actor, teacher. It consolidates the things I was teaching last week or whatever. So for me, I really like doing it. And I'm thinking, if I didn't, then what is the point of it? If you're doing it just for content, I don't know. Then that's tricky if I didn't enjoy it.
There's a lot of businesses out there. This isn't just, this is relevant to actors, but it's not specifically for actors.
Okay.
There's a lot of businesses out there that their social media managers were told, oh, this new app called TikTok has just come out. We need to be on it. And the content that they put out on it is exactly the same content that they put out on Facebook and Instagram. They've done it with absolutely no targeting And I'm not talking small business. I'm not talking about the wee flower shop at the end of your street. I'm talking big businesses that still don't know how to use this app properly. You need to be able to provide value. Your content needs to provide value. You might be used on Facebook, on Instagram, you might be used to having your friends liking your stuff because they're your friends. They're going to be supportive. Sometimes your friends don't even support your stuff. Okay. But the nature of TikTok is that it's more friendly to discovery content. And posting things that are, essentially explainers specific not to your industry but to your business is not useful. A lot of schools are very, very bad for this. When I say schools, I mean colleges, universities, drama schools. There's a college up in Scotland. I won't say which one it is, but every so often I get on my FYP how to log into your student email from the student union of that college, and I'm like, thank you, but at the same time, this is useless to me because one, I don't go to this college, but two, you've ended up on my For You page as a sort of sample audience. I've just scrolled straight past that and I'm ruining the engagement. I'm ruining the metrics on that video to help it get pushed out further. When an actor posts, here's my new headshots on TikTok, okay?
I would like it.
Right, yeah, you might like it. But
actually, some I do, some I don't. Oh, my cat's shouting. Sorry about that. Yeah, the ones where they've given me a variety and one word about that casting type. I quite like that. And I might comment, oh, yeah, love your range or whatever, what you've done there. But yeah, maybe if I saw just one headshot, I'm not sure I'd know what to do with that.
Right. I mean, it's all about framing. It's all about, not photo framing. It's all about why is this content here? You could argue, I'd argue maybe not, but you could argue that there is value in every piece of content, but it's how you market it. Yeah. I'm not prepared to say on this podcast how to make the best content because then I'm going to lose.
Because that's what your job's for,
because
right?
That's what my job is. But your content needs to provide value, and you need to ask yourself, as an actor, as a performer, who's my content for, and is it valuable for them? Yeah. And if it's not, are you doing it for the sake of doing it? Are you doing it because someone told you need to be on social media? Because if that's the case, you need to have a good hard look at yourself and go, what is the point in doing this? I might as well just be turning up to casting directors' offices and say, cast me, because you're going to get the exact same result. Nothing.
Well, you never know. You do hear some stories.
You never know, actually.
But it's unlikely.
I mean, it's not the 50s anymore. It's not the 60s anymore. So,
but I've talked a lot about networking and, however that can be. And social media can be a good way to start that if, like you say, you're marketing yourself correctly, I suppose. I suppose that's the tricky part, isn't it?
This episode is supported by Scene Tribe, a new industry network for creatives built around your credits, your collaborations, and the work that you've actually done. If you're ready to be found by the right people, head to scenetribe.com. Right, back to the episode.
I also wanted to talk about, if we can, confidence and comparison, because I think, we're saying social media, or you're explaining to us that it's not easy to use necessarily. You need to know why you're there, who you're making the content for, is it useful? And if you don't know those things, I presume this is where potentially confidence, comparison, and losing yourself can come into it. Also, that it's our image out there as well, isn't it? And there can be a whole heap of stuff for young people in particular about image. So much comes up. Is there anything that you can give out as advice to young actors who are feeling bad about this?
I am a horribly jealous person.
Okay.
I compare myself to people all the time in acting and social media. And we can look at other people. We can look at our friends, our colleagues that have done well in either field. And we can go, why is that not me? Why is that not me? But more often than not, there's always a reason for it. There's always a reason for it. But the difference between acting and social media is, I'm sure you'll agree, acting is a very unequal, the performing arts industry is a very, very unequal industry.
Hence nepotism, this podcast trying to help. Yeah.
Nepotism is a thing. It's unfair, but it is a thing, and it will always be there. Social media, however, levels the playing field a little bit more. We have the same opportunities in social media, and paying for views, paying for followers does not have the same impact as some people might think it does. Paying for followers, paying for views actually hurts your account more than it helps it. Yeah. In acting, you could argue you need to be connected to go big. In social media, you just need to be a good creator. that knows what they're doing to go big. I am not connected as much as I'd like to be. I don't have connections. I come from a working class background in the north coast of Scotland. I have, risen a little bit through the ranks in the performing arts industry. Not where I want to be, nowhere near where I want to be. But I have had the same opportunities in terms of social media as people with connections do. And even people with connections that have social media, a lot of them have very little followers and very little concept of how to actually do social media. You just need to learn these skills, because learning social media skills is, it's the same potentially as drama school. You can still learn these skills, but nepotism isn't going to push you to stardom on social media. It might. If you are Michael Keaton's daughter, for instance, that might actually help you. Gordon Ramsay's daughter, does great on social media as well. But merely being connected, being the son of a director, being the child of a producer isn't going to ensure that you're going to get big on social media. That's what I talk about nepotism. Nepotism doesn't have that same effect in social media. You have the same opportunities on social media as anyone else does.
Well, that's quite exciting.
If you feel jealous because one of your friends has done well on social media and you haven't, my advice is look at their social media and find out why they've done well. Because more often than not, it's strategy. It's strategy that has sent them the way they have. A lot of it can be luck. But the algorithm is smart. One insanely viral video, I'm talking 10, 20, 30 million views, does not ensure a social media career. In fact, if anything, it can actually damage your career if you don't do it correctly. And the main example I have is actually myself. The TikTok account that I have that is done very well is actually my second account, because the first one tanked. My very, very first iteration of TikTok was a live streaming account. On the average TikTok live that I do these days, I think gets somewhere between 50 and 100 viewers at any one given time. Back in 2021, on my first iteration of TikTok, I did a TikTok stream that had 25,000 viewers at once. And 1.1 million views across all streams, across that one stream. And for context, big celebrities that do TikTok live streams, they'll probably get somewhere in the region of about 300,000, 200,000 views on a single stream that had 1.1 million. It went insanely viral.
Are you allowed to say what you were talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm intrigued.
I pretended it was Christmas in February.
Okay.
I had a Santa hat on. It's actually just over there. That's the same Santa hat. I had a Santa hat on. I had a Christmas tree behind me, and I played Christmas music in February. And I was like, "Merry Christmas, everyone! It's Christmas." And I had this. There was a filter that was like countdown to Christmas. It was broken. It said Christmas was 3, 4, 5 days because I did it over the course of a month. And it was. And this one stream, it was like 3 hours till Christmas.
Okay.
Despite it being like March the 1st or something, or like February the 28th or something ridiculous like that. From that one stream, I gained 15,000 followers. And I thought, wow, this is it. This is the start. What it did was I had 25,000 followers in this one account that were following me for that one stream. Again, going back, these were all people with their own individual likes, their own individual interests, their own individual ambitions. That were now following me for this one thing that I couldn't do anymore because Christmas had passed. Yeah. And at that point, I was making content about Scottish universities. Yeah. It was university banter because I was a student back then. And whenever I posted the usual content about Strathclyde Uni, you guys are all nerds, usually that would do very well before those streams, because they'd be like, oh yeah, that's hilarious, Strathclyde Uni guys are nerds. I don't endorse that messaging, even though it's true. But what that meant was I now had kids from the Philippines that didn't necessarily speak English following me.
Yeah, it's not relevant to them. Yeah.
Dudes from Uganda that cared more about Liverpool FC than they cared about, the banter between Edinburgh Napier and Edinburgh Uni. It ruined the metrics of the account. And also, going back to follow for follow, that's why you should do follow for follow, because, you had so many randoms that don't actually like your content. One viral video, one viral moment can ruin everything for you, can absolutely ruin everything for you. So what I say is, I can't remember what the original question was. But
confidence, comparison, and not losing yourself.
So, a big following doesn't necessarily mean that person has done well. It means they've done something right. But it is also not always an indication of how well they're doing. Lots of views on one thing means one thing landed, but not everything they're going to do after that will land. What I teach is consistency. When you see someone with a big following, yes, it does mean that they can mean that they are doing well. But you can also do well as well if you are consistent, if you learn the right strategies, if you figure out what they've done right, and if you can figure out how to do things right for yourself, be consistent, you can get that too. But don't be put off by having one viral video. It doesn't mean anything. It generally doesn't mean anything. And you ask about confidence as well.
Yes, because it's particularly tricky, I think, for actors, because we're always trying to be someone else. And then I think social media is, as you've alluded to as well, asking you to be yourself in parts. Like, we don't need everything, but, you know, people want real, I think, on, like, especially you talk about TikTok. And I think, yeah, as soon as we think it's an advert, scroll past, we don't want it. I think we want real people. That's tricky because as actors, we're always being someone else, maybe hiding behind, I use quotation marks there, hiding behind someone else. And if you do want to go on social media, I think it can be exposing and tricky with your confidence.
You just have to go onto TikTok, go onto Instagram, press that plus button, record something and post it. I was speaking to Finlay. He's one of the other dudes that runs Actors on Social Media with me. He told, in a voice note the other day, he said to me, I was leaving Stansted Airport. I was actually shooting content at Stansted Airport, and he sent me a voice note. And he said to me, back when I started, I started posting videos, and people would talk about it, they would laugh about it. But now the same people are messaging me asking for advice.
Interesting. I like that.
And it's hilarious. I certainly remember a time back when I did YouTube, back when I was in high school. Everyone would laugh at me. I would laugh at me too if I saw that content. People are nasty. People are nasty people. They absolutely are. But, they can't help how they react. They are going to react in the way they're going to react. Even the kindest people, without sounding too cynical, even the kindest people will be critical of your content when you start out.
That's interesting, because if I see something I don't like, I definitely don't post. I wonder why I don't like it, if I'm drawn to it but don't like it. But I would never, but there are people who would say something mean, especially people with, I don't know, quite an anonymous profile. And yeah, I'm sure you've had that. I've had that. But more often than not, I've had positivity and connected with some really awesome people. And there are just one or two that might play on your mind that are less kind.
There will always be critics out there. Even if you do great content, you'll get critics. And if you do bad content, you'll get a lot of bad criticism, usually for a good reason.
Okay.
But I take bad criticism in my stride. I absolutely take it in my stride. Even in the big videos that do well, I still get bad comments. But it's part of social media.
I was going to say that to you. Is that you were saying about stitch it or disagree with me? Is there almost no such thing as, obviously it can be bad because there are things that we personally don't want to hear, but is it all driving up those, is it, I don't know, followers
recently
and numbers?
caused an international incident, which I've not actually spoken about publicly yet.
Okay.
This is an exclusive interview.
How exciting.
I caused an international story in the Democratic Republic of the Congo last month.
Blimey.
Where I was doing this World Cup song series where I was singing one song from every World Cup nation, where I sang a song from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I don't speak Lingala, and the whole charm of this series was I'm singing in different languages.
Okay.
And it went the way I expected it to, but nowhere near as big as I expected it to. So I sang the song, and it's still up if anyone wants to see it. It's still up. The last I checked, it had 350,000 views, and it had a lot of people responding to it from the Congo. Really big people from the Congo. Lots of stitches. A lot of them, I think, were insulting me.
Okay,
I don't know.
But you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know because I don't speak Lingala. So that would ruin a lot of people. It would absolutely ruin and destroy the mental health of a lot of people. But I don't care because, one, I don't speak Lingala. But two, as a result of that, I actually gained, I think, 10,000 followers from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Because in that basket of people, there are people that like the sort of content that I post. And they are now my followers. On the back of that video, I actually posted a video of me speaking in Lingala, an apology video
well
in Lingala. Really bad Lingala. But the comments that I got from that were way more positive because I turned a bad moment into a good one. It was heartwarming. It was friendly. It was welcome to my channel for my new Congolese followers. This is what I do. And And all these Congolese people were no longer like, oh, we hate you. It was,
Yeah.
hey, this guy's actually
It's all right.
not too bad.
Yeah.
You're going to get critics anytime you do it, especially when you start. But when you start getting big, the content that you post with 10 followers is cringe. But the videos that you post with 10,000 followers becomes a model for other people to follow.
And like anything, we get better, don't we, as we do it, you would hope. Yeah, the same with starting anything. Yeah, a podcast or teaching or whatever. Yeah, it is always cringe to start with,
right.
Definitely.
And when you get to series 10 in your podcast,
yeah, I'll be in a smart studio.
You're going to be in a studio. You're going to have LED lights, but you're going to have neon lights behind you. You're going to have a huge mic, bigger than your head, like 12K camera.
And I won't have to do all the boring bits, like putting it all together by myself.
Some might say, doing a podcast in your bedroom is cringe. When you do a podcast in your bedroom, which has 400,000 followers, other people are inspired and other people are going to do the exact same thing as you.
I think that's really lovely. So I think what we're saying here is using the comparison and the confidence to build yourself up, to start somewhere. And it is hard, I think, for a lot of young people if they've got the negative comments, but hearing from you and from others that, yeah, they exist and you need to find a way. Obviously with yourself, you can now predict kind of when, where and how they're coming. You said, oh, I think I knew how this was going to go. And for a lot starting out, they can't, but I think perhaps they could be a little bit comforted in the knowledge of just give it a try, be true to yourself, and I guess we can always delete things as well as long as they're posting things that are safe and appropriate. Yeah, don't want to say post anything, but just give it a try.
One line that you actually used on this podcast, which is true but not entirely true. It's when you post something out there, it's there forever. It's actually not there. It's actually not there forever.
Yep.
You can delete things.
Yes.
You can delete
good.
things. And I delete things all the time. Well,
that's interesting to know. Yeah, that's good. It doesn't harm your algorithm or whatever if you delete something or...
No.
Okay.
One thing I would say is there's a lot of social media gurus out there. Okay. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt. Absolutely take everything I say with a pinch of salt.
Different things work for different people as well, yeah.
Exactly. You're going to find a lot of TikTok coaches out there. On TikTok, and they're going to be posting all this advice, all this, great, all these things that make sense. And then you look at their account and all they're posting is just TikTok advice. And the reason people are following them is because people want to know how to, do well on TikTok. And we were going back to what we're talking about value. Mm-hmm. The target audience for that is people who is TikTok content creators. And the value is, false advice on how to grow your TikTok. Yeah. Watch out for people like that. Watch out for me. Okay. Because
how do people know what's false and what's not? Is that from just trying it, trusting their gut? I don't know.
Evidence. Okay. Evidence. I run a team of people. I only take people to teach that have big accounts, that are actors, that have big accounts, that have gotten opportunities in this industry from social media, because of social media. I would never follow anyone that claims to be a TikTok coach that has never done it themselves. I also wouldn't follow a social media manager that has grown accounts for other things that hasn't done it themselves, that hasn't put themselves out there. Okay. But ultimately, what I would say, even if you choose not to, choose actors on social media as a coach, to help you grow your social media, what you do has to be relevant to you. Okay, you can discover all of this for yourself, but free advice on social media is free for a reason. Yeah, it's free for a reason. But I would say whoever you choose, like in acting, like in the performing arts industry,
there's contradicting stuff out there all the time. Yeah,
don't pick an acting coach that hasn't either one coached someone that's that's made it big, or hasn't done it themselves in jobs that you respect. Again, there are so many acting teachers out there that went to the University of the West of Scotland. I just that one random. It's such a random one, but UWS or something, Central Lancashire. They've done a BA in drama or acting, and then they've just set up a website and done drama teaching, acting coaching, whatever. I mean, it's up to you if you go with them, but without industry experience, you wouldn't take an acting coach that's done nothing.
I've got a whole podcast on picking your teacher and what resonates and stuff. So check that out if you're unsure and looking for a...
And on that pick a social media coach that has done it before. And every single one of the teachers at Actors in Social Media, we've done it before and we're still doing it right now.
Advice. I've got a kind of little list of practical tips here, and you may or may not want to share because we don't want to be giving away your business. So if an actor wanted to improve their social media presence this week, what are 3 simple things that they could do?
3 simple things that you can do this week. 1, figure out who your content is for. 2, delete any content that's not useful to you. And 3, find your community. Find your community. Social media, a lot of the time we forget that social media has the word social in it.
Mm-hmm.
It is about socializing. Yeah. You mentioned earlier about making accounts for your children to connect with other parents and children and stuff. I'm not saying follow other actors, but make friends with other actors. Because ultimately, on social media, we can learn from one another. We don't necessarily need to follow one another, but we can. But the way the algorithm works, you actually appear a lot on my FYP. You do appear a lot on my FYP, yeah.
Sorry about that.
I don't need to follow you because I see your stuff all the time.
It connected us for this.
Yeah. But yeah, make friends, make a community, because it is a difficult industry out there.
Yes.
And keep the social in social media. But don't do follow for follow. Yeah, that's the 4th thing.
That's
don't do
really
follow
good.
for follow.
That's a good bit of advice that I didn't know about.
And I'm going to add a 4th piece of advice for free.
Bonus.
If you have done follow for follow, okay, delete them. Okay, delete them. Do the honourable thing as well. I would say. Delete the people that delete their follows as well. I would say if you are not at the place where you have fans yet, don't turn people into fans. The thing I hate the most is when I've noticed someone's unfollowed me, but they've left my follow on, and they were friends of mine. I'm not your fan.
Okay. Yeah.
But do that if you want to. It's something I would do personally.
Sorry. What's the difference between a follower and a fan then? What do you mean by that?
They're mostly the same things, but it's how you describe them. I would say anyone that I went to drama school with that is following me on my Instagram and I'm following that, they're followers. They're friends of mine.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But anyone that follows me on TikTok, I'm talking about the 14-year-old lad that lives in the south side of Glasgow that I've never met before. He's a fan of mine.
Yeah.
They're a fan of
mine.
They are they are a follower of mine, but they like my stuff. They like my content. They don't know who I am, but they like my stuff. They're a fan of mine. But if I did a follow for follow from someone from my old university or something, we did follow because that's what we did. We're friends and stuff. But then they decided I'm not their friend anymore. They've unfollowed me, but they left my follow on. I'm not your fan. I'm not your fan.
So it's polite to. Can you do that then? Can you remove?
Yeah. You can remove
them
someone's
from
follow.
you and you from them.
Yeah. I would say it's not something you have to do. It's just good etiquette. It's just good etiquette.
I mean, if you really want to go all out and you've got time, I suppose you could let them know why, couldn't you?
You could.
I'm just having a clear out and only following things that are relevant to my account. No offense or whatever.
You can
That's
do
a lot
that.
of admin.
But I would also say as well, don't take yourself too seriously if you are not at a stage where you should be taking yourself too seriously.
Oh, that's great.
The biggest people on social media, they all started off doing it as a hobby. Yeah. And they got big because the audiences were like, oh, this guy's not taking themselves too seriously. They're a sound person, Once you reach the point of, I'm making money off of this, I'm getting brand deals and I'm getting audition invites. Yes, then take yourself seriously.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
But there's nothing more off-putting than someone that is calling themselves Brian Maitland Official or Lisa Southam Official, DM for inquiries, and they have 50 followers.
Sure.
And they're not following anyone back, or they've done follow, but then they remove that follow because they want their followers low. No, that's a great way. It's a great way to make enemies. It's a great way to make enemies.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. And another quick one is, in your opinion, how often should actors be posting on social media?
It's up to them.
Perfect.
The false advice out there from the free advice is post 3 times a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
People say post 3 times a day. That is a great way to burn out, and it's a great way to never do TikTok ever again.
My family would never see me. I'd be glued to my phone.
I'm going to give one piece of really good advice, which I was not planning on saying today, but this
I had good advice, voice versus noisy advice. So, let's hear it, please.
So, Post whenever you want, okay? There is no such thing as ideal, optimal posting times. That's false. You don't have to post 3 times a day. I have done entire 6-month breaks without posting. I come back and I get 1 million views and 100,000 likes. Yeah, it's happened before. It has happened before. People that post 3 times a day, are you just posting for the sake of posting for 3 times a day? Quality over quantity. Yeah. There is something to be said about you can post a lot of videos in one day and cast a wide net, etc. But if you're posting 3 bad quality videos a day, yeah, you're just posting 3 bad videos a day. And people that are swiping through TikTok or Instagram, they are real people. They are real people. They are not that view that number that appears on the view count. That's potentially that many people. Sometimes they're repeat views, but if that says 300 views there, that is 300 people that have watched your video. 300 individual people, potentially 300 individual people that watch your video. And if they don't like your video, okay, because it's bad quality, they're going to scroll straight past it. Okay.
Can I jump in, Brian, about the bad quality thing? So in my mind, bad quality originally would be something that's not well put together or not very, I don't know. Whereas I think so we want good quality in quotation marks, but that doesn't mean it has to be super polished or edited, or does it? It can, I think you were talking about the quality being the reason for the video.
Value.
I think the purpose, the value, lovely. So I could still just chat to my phone quite casually. It doesn't have to be. I mean, sometimes I like to set it up with some nice lighting or whatever, but it doesn't, when we say bad quality, it's like bad as in not useful or interesting or meeting your audience.
Yeah. When I refer to quality, I refer to the value of the video.
Okay, cool.
Someone could take a selfie video of themselves right now and say something really important that's happening in the world right now. That video can do very well. That same person can take the exact same angle, the exact same lighting, the exact same thing, and say what they had for dinner that day. That will get nowhere near the response that other video
Cool,
got.
thank you.
The video has to be relevant or has to be useful or valuable to the person that on the other end. And remember, these are real people. You're not going viral because you posted a video. You're going viral because of what's in the video.
Thank you. Is there anything you wish had come up before I go into your little quick fire at the end, Brian? Is there anything that you wanted to share that hasn't?
I don't think so. I would say before spending money on various training, this doesn't just apply to social media. Ask yourself, what can social media bring for you? Do you need it? Do you need social media? If you're a child actor, I would argue no, you don't need social media. If you're someone that's trying to get discovered, someone that's trying to get seen for certain fringe productions or certain productions, then you might need it. Then it might be worth investing in social media training. But don't buy my services if you just want to do it for the sake of doing it. Social media is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. The YouTube kids of 2006 made it look really easy. It might have been easy a long time ago. That's because there was nothing else to watch back then. But we are now in such an oversaturated market where a lot of actors are vying, not just actors, other content creators in other industries too, are vying for audiences on the same phone screen, on the same FYP. You have to be ready to commit to social media if you're going to do social media.
Thank you. That's some great closing advice. Okay, I've got 3 quick fires for you, Brian. So it doesn't matter if it's already come up and it's the same thing, or if it's something that hasn't come up and it's just off the top of your head. One social media mistake actors should stop making.
Don't call yourself official.
Great. One thing actors should post more of.
Positivity.
Lovely. And one myth about social media.
You will not get discovered in the way you think you'll get discovered.
Very nice. My most succinct quick fires so far. Thank you very much for that. And would you like to tell people where they can find you? I know they can find you in lots of places.
You can find me in lots of places. If you are looking for social media training, www.actsocmed.com. You can also DM me on TikTok or Instagram at Brian Maitland. There's other content creators as well within actors and social media. There's Abigail Coy and there's Finlay McKillop. You can find them at Mr. McKillop and at Abigail 2 Ys, I remember. Their social media handles are also on Act SocMed as well, if you're interested in seeing them too. But if you want very quick, get to the booking quickly, ask me. We do public classes as well. And as well as that, what I would say is you do have to spend money to get money on social media. Not necessarily through training, but you do have to make some investments. Yeah. I'm free to DMs from anyone. And if you have sat through this entire podcast, right at the end, this is an exclusive discount. If you quote the phrase, I watched drama... what was the name of the podcast?
The Drama Coach podcast.
If you say this is the discount code.
Okay.
I watched the Drama Coach podcast. Please give me a discount. I'll give you a discount.
Amazing. Oh, wow.
That's your
How
reward
exciting.
for watching this entire podcast.
How exciting. Or listening. What if they said to you,
or listening.
I listened to the Drama Coach podcast. Would that also work?
Okay, if you say,
Or would they need
listened
to say,
to the Drama
yeah.
Coach
Would they
podcast,
still get
please
it?
give me a discount. I'll do that. I'll fix that for you.
Thank you. Yeah, because again, I know as a parent that I love to listen to podcasts because I can just cram so much more into my day if I can listen while I'm cooking, cleaning, driving, whatever. Yeah, personally, no offense to us, but I wouldn't give up my hour because I couldn't sit. I do too much sitting as it is. I like to listen. But yes, you can watch that. You can absolutely. Hopefully you've watched this and got to the end and might contact Brian with that. So a huge thank you to you, Brian, for joining me today. I think this is such a useful conversation because social media isn't going anywhere fast. And for actors, it can be a brilliant tool, but only when it's used with thought, care, and boundaries. For young performers and parents, the key message is, well, maybe not for the young performers, but definitely for those that are old enough to use social media, I think the key message is be visible, be safe, be yourself, and protect yourself. And remember that your online presence is part of your professional work now, so it's worth treating it with the same care as your training, your auditions, and your reputation. If this episode has been useful, please do follow the Drama Coach podcast. Share it with another performer or parent, and come and find me at The Drama Coach on socials for more acting tips, audition advice, and honest conversations about the industry. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.